Óyeme, Jesús, mira lo que está pasando aquí. No, que si la salsa viene.
Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Phoenix-based veteran Latin jazz percussionist Miguel El Mambo DeLeon. He moved to Kansas City in 1987 and enjoyed a very long music history in this town. He will be returning in early May 2022 for a host of engagements to savor his old stomping grounds. He will always be known in the Midwest salsa and Latin jazz scene as the pioneer. Over the years, he has opened for the best in the business, like El Maestro Tito Puente, Poncho Sanchez and Santana, along with many others. He's got a great story. Dig it.
Thank you first and foremost for reaching out to the show. I really appreciate it. The first question I have for you is, you're coming to Kansas City. You have a history here. Let's talk about right now this trip to KC as the world wakes up and live music comes back.
Yes, sir. Yeah. My name is Miguel Mambo DeLeon, and so I spent a good probably 20-some-odd years in Kansas City in the music scene. I've been blessed and fortunate that you got a great music scene there in Kansas City. That even though I've moved to Arizona now, but I've been here in Arizona for 8 years, but every year I get calls from Kansas City for Mambo. We need you back in Kansas City. So I'll be there in Kansas City from May 4th through May 9th. The shows that I have lined up on May 4th, I'll be performing at the Raphael on the Plaza from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock with my Latin Jazz Carte Blanche group. Includes some of the long-time standing members of the School of Mambo, which was labeled in Kansas City. So I have Pat Conway on the congas, and then I have Andrew Stinson on bass, and then I have my Persian princess, I call her, Ariana Nemati on the saxophone, and then a newcomer to the scene out there, Mr. Trevor on piano. So we're going to be playing some of the classic jazz. Like I say, we slip it into Mambo world, and we put the little Mambo on it. So we'll be performing there at the Latin Jazz there outside of the Raphael on May 4th. That's Wednesday night, 5 to 8 p.m. And then May 5th, Cinco de Mambo, which I call it. We'll be performing at the Chicken and Pickle, North Kansas City. Yeah, I'll be having my mariachi there, and so I'll be not just doing a mambo, I'll be doing mariachi. Friday night, I'll have my full mambo orchestra playing salsa and mambo. It's called American Fusion, which is in North Kansas City, and they nickname it La Playita, the beach, and that's over there on 16th and Swift in North Kansas City. They got great dinner. They're going to have like dinner specials that day. So I don't have the number handy, but you could look on my Facebook page. I have a flyer posted up with all the information. And the band, it's a salsa dancing for all you folks that are listening that want to get your dose of salsa dancing in, and with some live music, live mambo music. I invite you to come on down on that Friday night, May 6th. And then on May 7th, I'll be taking a little road trip up to Omaha. Sunday, talking with a couple of local percussionists, what they be doing on Sundays now that it warmed up a little bit. By then, we'll have a Roomba in the park. So it's going to be like a drum circle going on at Luce Park on Sunday, probably between 2 and 3 o'clock. I'll keep it posted on my Facebook page, so we invite people to come in, take a look, take a listen, and get your mambo on. It's going to be a busy time when I get there. Since I don't live there, when I go, I get to, I'm fortunate to be booked every day and be able to have a lot of public shows for people to come around at different times of the week and the weekend.
Well, it's music to my ears because there's just been no live music, so it's wonderful. So let's go back into your history here, where you were born and raised and how music became your life.
Music has been in my family, I guess, since I was born. I think when I was born, they had a cactus man on the other end of the birthing table because the mambo came sliding out, ready to go. From a family of 14 siblings, we all sang. At one point, we were all, we were the whole church choir. Alto, soprano, bass, tenors, and like in second grade, I was picked out of a Catholic school to start singing in the church choir. My father was really musical, but had bad timing. Oh, my goodness. But he put that guitar in my hand. So probably by the time I was like 10, I was already playing guitar and singing and doing harmonies and stuff with my two other brothers in church events. And then in 72 was 19. Oh, I'm giving my age out, but that's okay, man. Age is just a number, so the government knows how long they can tax you. And 1972 was my first paid salsa gig in 1972. And I was fortunate that during that age, the salsa scene was really pumping with Fania All-Stars, Sonora Ponceña, Gran Combo, Celia Cruz, Tito Puente, Ray Barreto. You name the artists of that era, and I was fortunate to either open for them between 72 and 83 and traveled between Detroit and upstate New York as a backup band for those professionals. So I was already working semi-professionally in the mid-70s, early 80s before I moved to Kansas City. I've been in it for a while.
Talk to me a little bit about your time in Kansas City specifically. What was so magical about this place? You know, everybody that leaves always has great memories. What was it about, like, coming of age and kind of growing up as a musician here in Kansas City?
Well, I think, you know, when I went to Kansas City in 86, I moved there was that whole political scene is always upending, you know, we the people's life. You know, there was an embargo on Chinese steel. The town I grew up in Ohio, Lorain, Ohio, which is right on just 20 miles west of Cleveland, Ohio. The steel company, everything upended. Ford plant had to do, you know, other things to get steel to make their vehicles, et cetera, et cetera. So there was no work, you know, and so a buddy of mine got transferred to the Ford plant in Clay Como. And he only drove about an hour on the road because he moved from Puerto Rico to Lorain, Cleveland to work at the Ford plant. I drove him to Kansas City. He says, well, you know what, to stay as long as you want, I'll buy you a ticket when you're ready to leave. Well, he still owes me a ticket. But anyway, he still owes me a ticket. So I went and, you know, I put in some job applications. You know, I saw a really, you know, big job market there. And so, you know, after being laid off for 2 years, I finally found a place where I was getting a paycheck. So I said, well, let me hang out here. So I was hanging out for a minute, but the music bug kicked in, and I just started going to some jam sessions. I ran into Al Pearson, trumpet player. He was there from Philly, and he saw me at a jam session, and he says, yeah, man, it sounds like you got that salsa stuff. And, you know, I got with Al Pearson. We put together a little combo. Then we started playing, and he invited at that time, that band was Sensación Caribe. That band included some of the well-known musicians that are playing right now. Stan Kessler, trumpet player there. Everybody knows Stan Kessler. There was Al Pearson, of course. We had Mark Kohick on saxophones. One of the legendary guitarists, pianists there. A fun guy, Mr. Gary Nelson. Brian Hicks was on bass. Everybody knows Brian Hicks over there. So, I mean, I've been playing with those guys since like 87, from 88 to 92. During the course of those years there in Kansas City, the music scene, you know, of course, there wasn't social media. So, you know, I was making the flyers and posting them up, and there is the community that wasn't really being fed was like the Hispanic Latino community there. So I was fortunate that when I put the flyers up, there was a venue on Southwest Boulevard called the Boulevard Beat, which sat just behind Town Topic there on Broadway and Southwest Trafficway. Yeah, I took the club owner there, and I told him, look, man, I'll just play for the door. Place held about 120 people. I told him, be ready. The people came inquisitively looking to say, really, is this really authentic salsa and mambo? Well, the club owner, he wasn't ready with enough bartenders and servers because that place got packed and there was a late waiting line outside the door. And I saw the support of the Hispanic, and not just the Hispanic community, but the Anglo to all of them. I mean, people were coming out to see something different, something new. And thanks to Al Pearson and the list of musicians that I could mention could go on and on. There, you know, Clint Ashlock, which everybody knows, he's been through there. Several professors from the UMKC, while they were working on their doctorate degree, were in the School of Mambo. Dr. Keith Benjamin, for one. Another one that went through there is Ryan Sharp. Is another one who's now got his degree, and he's working out of Oklahoma there, that when I go to Oklahoma, I give him a call, and he puts together a savage horn section for the Mambo band. Yeah, Kansas City's been a really, really big, solid base of musicians, very professional, I mean, just a joy to play with. And, you know, I've been, you know, I spent some time living in Puerto Rico and touring out of Puerto Rico. And, you know, Kansas City has always been really receptive. The musicians have always been ready to go, you know, and keeping live music happening and popping. You know, Mark Lowry was went through the School of Mambo. My God, right now, I think she's right now, Alyssa Murray is another artist that's really popping right now. I got her coming through the School of Mambo herself. It's always happy to see what I call my students progressing and advancing and, you know, opening up their musical mind and really putting out some different stuff that they like there. Mr. Seth Lee is another bass player there that, you know, comes to mind. Even Tim Whitmer, who everyone knows, and David Bassie, who everyone knows. I spent some time with the City Light Orchestra there in Kansas City, the Blue Room, Gem Theater. You know, I even went in a few of my things there at the foundation there at the Musicians Union Hall. I mean, Kansas City has such a live music scene, really, really great music scene, and not just the jazz, but the Latin, and the whole thing has really opened up. And so I was fortunate that the good Lord sent me that way on that one road where I'm going to Kansas City, and everybody's like, Kansas City? He said, yes, Kansas City. I can't say enough good things about the music scene there. Love that place.
So you're in Phoenix. Talk to me a little bit about what the scene is like there and like longing to Kansas.
Well, you know, actually there's two musicians that played with me in Kansas City that moved here. Ryan Fosse's a trombone player. He played with, I mean, they still play right now. It's a Venezuelan band, Son Venezuela. Son Venezuela is a band that's still in Kansas City area. They're out of Lawrence, and they're still playing. So he played with them, and he moved here. He also played with the Pablo Sanhuesa's group and has done some other Latin jazz work there in Kansas City. Well, he's here now in Phoenix, and he's working with me. And then Mike Weisner, which all the classic players over there will know, the people that play with Clint Ashlock, Aaron Lynchide, another trumpet player out there. They'll all know this guy, this Mike Weisner. He's here in Phoenix. The good Lord sent me a couple of good Kansas City musicians to kind of wake up the scene here in Phoenix. It's definitely a whole different scene because it's that close to L.A. and close to Vegas. You know, musicians are really running around, and they're not so apt for rehearsal as they are in Kansas City. Kansas City likes to do their rehearsals, and they really like to do their show prepared. A lot of the musicians here are happy to do a rehearsal. Give me the music, I'll do a rehearsal, and let's go do the show. So that's a little unsettling for me, but you know, it is what it is what I have to work with. I'm still getting fortunate that when the heat comes around here, Kansas City calls, and I get to go back to Kansas City. I also get to go back to Cleveland, Ohio, still to perform with my brother. So you know, when I go on the road, but the scene here is you know, especially pulling after COVID. I mean, that's just let me toss COVID in there because of course that affected everyone. So that shut everybody down. Fortunately, area that I live in, there was you know, I have a kind of a Uber service, you might want to say, but I call it Mambo Air, nonstop service to and from Sky Harbor. You know, so you know, I picked that up, and that has turned out really well. And the wife and I, you know, we're blessed to be here. That's a whole another thing, that blessing that came down while COVID shut down. We were still fortunate to be able to make ends meet and then some. So coming out of COVID, Kansas City started calling, Mambo, we're open again, come on down. Phoenix started opening up a little bit. Right now I'm involved here with two big bands. One is called the Sun City All-Star Band, and I sing, you know, doing the Frank Sinatra and the big band kind of stuff. And then I have Encore Legends big band, which I'm also a member of. Then I have my Mambo orchestra here with the musicians that we get out a little bit, not as much. The big bands keep me busy. And here where I live is in the community I live, they have a lot of block parties, so I even started DJing.
Right on.
Musically, and with the support of my wife and my life partner, she knows if I'm not doing music, I'm a bear. If I go too long without doing music, she's shooting me off to some karaoke bar or somewhere to go do some singing or something, or some jam session to go play. You know, so I count my blessings that after, I don't know, 72, 82, 92. So after about let's just call it 45 years in the business, that I'm still cranking. and still being able to take some great music to a lot of fans and to the younger folk and the newer generation that is getting involved. As we know, the salsa and Latin dance, even on Dancing with the Stars, for crying out loud. Now they have to do Dancing the Salsa, but they play a rock and roll tune because Disney got their money on the song. And now doing the cha-cha, and they'll play a country song. Well, I have here in Phoenix, I put together what I call the Latin version of Dancing with the Stars. And I have dancers that I employ, and I do a show that when I say we're playing a salsa, people are dancing a salsa. And I play a salsa, not a country music. So it's more authentic. So when I say doing a cha-cha, I'm playing a cha-cha. And the people that have been coming out, they've been really receptive to that, and they enjoy the dancing. I have an intermission where the dancers get out and do their number. So, it's something that young and old, they come out to watch. The young ones come out, they dance. Life continues to be well, after COVID. People are coming out, being safe and thinking of their neighbors. Sometimes they wear their masks, sometimes they don't. Whoever, so everybody's decision, comfort zone. And so, and everybody's courteous. And that's when you come in the Mambo world, time stands still. There's no right way, no wrong way, just a fun way. And that's the model of Mambo world.
So everyone has an idea or a perception of who they think you are, your family, your friends, your fans, but ultimately you live your life. Who do you think you are?
I'm an open book. I mean, what you see, what they see online, the jokester that I am when they meet me, the jokes I put online, personal moments that I have with a lot of people that I sit and I talk with them. The people that know me, they know who I am. They know who I am. I count my blessings for my day when I go to bed, and I count my blessings when I wake up in the morning, to have such great people and friends and, my health and happiness. After a lifelong of travel and being involved in so many projects and stuff, you just, at one point in your life, you just get to settle down and, actually enjoy and count your blessings, man. And it's actually as simple as that. Don't complicate it.
Mambo, man, it's been so good that you reached out to me. It's wonderful we caught up. I'm surprised we didn't do it before. Welcome back to Kansas City. I know I'm going to catch a show. I can't wait to meet you in person. So thank you, man. You're full of energy and vitality, and we need that in the world of music.
Well, you are so welcome. And look, I look forward to meeting you as well while I go in Kansas City between May 4th and May 9th. I already mentioned the shows. That'll be Wednesday at the Raphael, Thursday at Chicken and Pickle with Mariachi, and then Friday night with the big Mambo show.
Well, I look forward to it. I know Kansas City does.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview. We give you a bit of insight into the finest players and minds in Phoenix, Kansas City, and spots all over the globe, giving fans all that jazz. Thanks to Miguel for his time, music, and stories. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino in the iTunes Store. Visit neonjazz at youtube.com. Go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com for everything Neon Jazz. And if you want to contribute a few bucks and see some more, go to www.joedomino.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Y dale mambo.
Neon Jazz.